Oi, oi, how's everybody doing? Hope everybody's having a great weekend. It's all about getting real when it's the Cockney Buddha here in Florida. And I've just seen the weather report. Kind of plays into what I want to talk about. It's all about what you need and steering away from that fear. So what do you need? I know in the past little bit of time I've been tuning into that myself. Because I've had some situations that have been going on with my own mentals. I'm human. I am a certified counsellor. But I'm still human. So it's all about learning. And I can use those experiences to get the message out to you guys. So what do you need was something that's come up for me. And it's all about what do you need when you want to steer away from that fear. And that storm coming, just put the cherry on the cake. So grab yourself a cuppa, pull up that chair, put that headset on and listen in, and thank you for listening in. I can't thank you enough, honestly. The community's growing. I'm really digging the growth that's happening on my YouTube channel. So if you can get out there and check that out for me. And you might be listening to this on YouTube, but if you're not, if you can skip over to my YouTube channel and give me a subscribe and look through my channel and give me a like. Obviously, if you like it, of course. If you don't like it, then obviously don't. Right? But I'm hoping that, the people that are tuning in are the community that, work with their mental health and maybe know people that, that work with their mental health, or they've got partners that have mental health issues, and you can get answers right here. Don't be afraid to post something in the comments if you're a spouse or a partner or somebody that, you're kind of wanting to look for answers, because, I've got an absolute banging wife. I tell you what, she's reassuring me that she's got her eye on this storm, because, I'm still that guy from London when it comes down to these hurricanes. Let me tell you, I'm still going to that. I look at the locals and all that, and they're like, yeah, be all right, it's going on that side, and I'm like, yeah, all right, fracking, it looks like it's bleeding, creaming the beach to me. So, oh no. But yeah, I ain't quite Floridian when it comes to that kind of thing. And I tell you, the damage that the last one's done as well. Big ups to all those people out there that are, working with that and the impact that that's had along that coastline. I've been through some of these storms before, but it always makes me a bit nervy. And if you've got any kind of anxiety issues around that kind of thing, I can only but be right there with you, because I know what it feels like. So, but it kind of spawned on the whole idea of the podcast. I thought, you know what, I want to get behind the mic and kind of share it. Because it all started really yesterday as well. And was standing in my kitchen, and there's been a bunch of things that have been kicking off here and there, and you're constantly being tested. But you know what, when you're playing I don't know, a game of tennis or something, right? I don't know, anything really, and you just keep losing, and you keep trying, and you might score here and there, and you're losing, and you're like, oh, come on. Right, it's been a little bit like that, right? And I'm not trying to say by any means that it's been, there's always, like I've always said, there's always somebody wants our position, right? there's always somebody that wants our position. And I pull in gratitude, and I'm always working towards it. But sometimes my head goes a little bit ski whiff, mate. It goes a little bit kind of ski whiff. So there I am, because I work on myself. And anybody knows this. Anybody that tunes in and knows around this kind of things when it comes to anxiety and depression, and and I'm not just naming just those two things. I know there's a whole bunch of others, but they're the main two things that I deal with, is anxiety and depression, and I get rage, and I've got some PTSD. So I've got a little bit of a rounder, but I know there's a lot of people with all kinds of different mental health issues out there. I'm not putting any one down. I'm just saying that's what I deal with, and that's what I know. I deal with my guys a lot who I work with. So anyway, so here I am in my kitchen, and it's been building up a little bit here and there. It's like been a couple of smacks where I've had a couple of panic attacks, and it's about one I'm going to tell you today, and how you kind of tune into. It got me into the what do you need, because it kind of wraps onto the walk that I did yesterday. So if you go and look at my afternoon walk that I did yesterday, it kind of all ties into that as well. So it all leads into that. So my daughter got into a car accident, my eldest daughter. She's okay. But, the scenario around it all, it's like, and the way the Florida laws are, if you hit someone in the back, it's your fault for hitting them in the back. It doesn't matter. We've tried looking at it, in different ways, because it's like, blimey, really? But there's scenarios around it, but my daughter's fine, which is the number one thing. The car isn't. But it's but she's okay. She's all right. But anyway, I'm trying to think of where I was actually going with that now. But yeah, when it comes getting, let me get back on subject, because you know what I'm doing? I'm doing the old squirrel is what I'm doing, aren't I? I'm squirreling. God, blimey. I'm telling you, as soon as I get behind the mic, I see a bunch of people. I never used to be like this, by the way. I always used to be a bit shy of opening up the mic and that, because I used to feel like I didn't have an audience, even though you're talking to how many people. But now I see myself as talking to a whole bunch of people. So anyway. So anyway, yeah, she got into a car accident. So there was a lot of stress that was peeled off from that. That's where I was at. I remembered. Hey, oh, hey. Awesome. I remembered. Blimey. So there's been a lot of stress with that. My wife's been stressing out because the motor was, I don't think we even had it a year yet, and it's it's in the breakers, and it was like, oh my God. So there's been a bit of stress around that, and then my poor daughter goes out with a friend of hers, and thankfully there were two cops that were there, but they were on I-4, which anybody that knows I-4 in Central Florida, a nightmare, right? That'll give you enough stress right there to going into the subject that I want to talk about. What do you need, right? Because this is what it's about. So and this motorbike's whacks into the back of the truck that my daughter's friend was driving, and my daughter starts telling me on the Friday when I'm in the kitchen, and it was one of those days where I've been having headaches since Tuesday with my neck and tension, and I know it's tension, but my mind goes to, oh shit, worst case possible right here, matey. Let's give you a dose of this. Whop. Right? Yeah. Yeah, the old negative voice comes in. I'm your negative voice, Cockney Buddha. And I go, oh yes, I'm listening.
Oh, are you listening to me though?
Yes, I am. I'm listening. What is it?
Well, let me give you a dose of this.
And then all of a sudden I start spiraling a little bit, right? Because my daughter starts telling me about what actually happened, and I start putting myself in my daughter's shoes, and I'm like, holy shit. And I look at my daughter and I'm like, you might want to think about like seeing somebody for therapy, like Judith. Big ups to Judith. Big love. My therapist, big love to her. Let me tell you, God, blimey, thank God she's been around and she's been an absolute diamond, and she checks on me as well, because she'll tell you, we've had some bleeding sessions from time to time lately when it's, working around this. This is what it all comes down to. Doing the work. So I said to my daughter, I'm like, you might, because she said, they pull over to the side of the road and there was two cops that were right there and they saw what happened. And witnesses said that this fella was like buzzing in and out of the cars and all that, hit the back of the truck that my daughter and her friend was the driver, because they were just driving. And this poor fella's my daughter saw him come off, and it's like, oh no, because I used to ride a bike, and it's like, oh shit. And then, they're standing on the side of the road, and there's this fella, before anything got there, there's this fella who's freaking, I ain't going to go into it, but, he's messed up and shit. He was conscious and that, but it was nurses, thank God. Big ups to nurses out there, by the way. Big up. Let me tell you. Because I tell you what, I've had better information from nurses where they've been absolutely genuine with me than I have, Anyway, well, I ain't going to go into that. Not going to go there. Not going to go, I know it's about getting real. And I have my views when it comes to, corruption and shit. Right. But anyway, so all of a sudden I'm hearing this story, and I start feeling it creep in. That dreaded,
oh, here I come.
That guy, or whatever it is that you hear, because it kind of sounds like that to me. It's like this, like,
yes, now I'm louder.
I get that. So that kind of started going off, and then when you hear
this starting to happen,
it's time to start to tune in a bit. And I'm like, uh-oh, and I could feel it going. I started to have this like shakiness to me, and I thought, ooh. And I've also found that I've had some things progress, and it's funny because the shakiness, I never used to have that with anxiety or anything like that, and it kind of within the past, I don't know, 3 years maybe, I've started feeling that. So if anybody gets that, like, because I know my mum does and all, there's like this, it's like, what the bloody hell's going on here? It's like a shake. And be aware of it, because sometimes you can get that. I've noticed I can get that before I notice something. So be aware of that. Anyway, so I could feel myself starting to like, uh-oh. So the first thing I thought of was, because my wife reminded me, actually, she's like, when was the last time you got outside and got your feet in the ground? Get outside in the sun. And she was right, get out in the vitamin D, right? So, Mother Nature, give you that vitamin D, man, right? And I go out in it without sunscreen for a little bit, nothing stupid. I mean, let's not be bloody, I'm not telling everybody, hey, get out there, let it become bacon. No, I'm not doing that, right? I'm talking about myself, and I like to go out there, without putting the sunscreen on for maybe 10 minutes, depending on how it is. And again, I'm not telling anybody to do shit. All right. to get that vitamin D into my system. And so what I did was I grabbed a chair real quick and I put it out in the middle of the lawn, and I still had my sneakers on from going down to the chiropractor, because I just come from the chiropractor. Big ups to those guys. Yeah, the Orlando Spine Studio down on University. If you come from 434, come down University, right where the Panera is, you go, it's right there on the left-hand side. It's right next to it, kind of sits back a little bit. There's the Sunburn dispensary, cannabis dispensary on the right-hand side, right across the road from University from it. You're in the right area if you see those two things. But big ups to those guys, and a big massive up to Joe, because he sorted me out. I tell you what, bloody hell. Yeah, I needed it too. And then I got home, and when I got home, the pain was so... I was actually in tears at one point. It was so bunched up in my traps with tension and shit that it just wasn't going away. And I had a headache since Tuesday, and then I go down to the chiropractor, and it moved and everything. I mean, the freaking Joe was, as I say, was a blinder. He's the physical therapist down there. That was, you know, and give him some big energy, yeah, because he's out there at school, wanting to be a sports therapist and that. So you know, give him big energy. But anyway, that went well, and the chiropractor, you know, the adjustment went great, because I was a little bit dubious of it, to tell you the truth, because I thought, blimey, I'm as stiff as a freaking board here. But Joe didn't let it go. I stood up, and he's like, how you feeling? And I twisted my head one way, and I'm like, well, it's not too bad that way. And I went the other way, and I'm like, whoa, what's that? And he's like, right, get back up on the table. And I got some of the old freaking TENS unit on there, and some stim and shit, and ice. And then, you know, he used the freaking contraption where you strap it around your head and that, and he goes behind you and leans back, and that, I think that might have bleeding helped and all, but it all bunched up. It was all freaking inflamed and shit. And so my wife's like, get on the heating pad. I get on the heating pad, but to tell you the truth, it was the point, like I said, I had it since Tuesday, so by Friday, and then it seemed to like really get bad, and it was like, oh my God, I was at the end of it. Like, the anxiety in it was starting to brew. It was starting to not look good. And then I heard my daughter, and then I'm like, right, grab a chair, get in the lawn. I go out and sit in the middle of my lawn, and I always like go towards and face the sun. And I like to take my sun. Again, this is what I do, not telling anybody to do shit. And I like to take my sunglasses off a little bit and take in the sunlight, looking around the yard a little bit. Because, you know, there's reasons. I have my reasons for it. But, you know, research a little bit yourselves. But I'm not telling anybody to do anything. And then my wife opens the door and she goes, you want to take your shoes and socks off? And I was in one of those where I'm like, oh, fuck.
There's that voice. Don't do it, Cockney Buddha. You know you don't want to earth yourself, really. Do you?
And I knew this sensible part of my mind is going, yeah, you do. But it's going,
no, you don't, because I want you in my grip. Your wife is wrong.
And I'm going, well, no, it makes sense. Get your bare feet in the yard. So, you know, I thought, screw the freaking voice. And what do I hear?
Oh, no!
Yeah. Right. So I took me trainers off, got me socks off, got me feet in the ground. You know, and old Dan Cobb comes to mind, you know, quite often with that, you know what to do. And that's what comes into this, the head into this. What do you need? Because what happened is I ended up getting my feet in the ground. I ended up tuning into, you know, the bird. There was a bird there that was singing. I wish I knew what this bird was, because it was, blimey. if I could bring those birds into the yard, I might, I thought about building a bird table. I might still do that at some point and put it in the yard, because I like seeing the birds. And it was behind me, because what I did is I just tuned into I thought, right, tune to sound. I got my feet buried in the ground, started tuning into my breath, slowing it down, and just like, okay, what can I hear? And there was a guy mowing the yard and this bird, and I thought, okay, let's tune into the sound of it. Don't name it. I know it's a bird. Let's tune into the sound of it. And it just sounded so spiritual, so chorusy. It was like a choir, but one bird. It was beautiful. And I tuned into the beauty of what I was hearing. I mean, what an amazing experience. So I started getting into, right, I need to go out for a walk. Well, not need to, I choose to, yeah, because it's that choosing, yeah. So, now I'm getting on top of that voice a bit, right? I'm starting to pull it off. And that's what I mean. What do you need? So when I left the house, and that's when I wanted to get in and doing the vlogs. So go and check out my vlogs if you would, please. Go and give the old like and that, and come and check me out Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time US. I put out a little bit of breath work, and we have a talk and everything like that, and I'm going to get into doing call-ins and stuff like that as well, which would be a blinder. Yeah, come and check me out. Come and check me out on the Sundays. So what I did was I went on my walk, and I started doing a bit of a vlog, and I thought, what is it what do you need? What is it you need right now? What is it? And one of the things that has been cropping up lately for me is getting more into the Buddhism side of things, more into the spiritual side of it, the things. I mean, the 30-year-old Grom turned up with an amazing gift for me, and I want to know more about it. So I want to do a little bit of research. I've already found out that there is 100 beads. I think there's a 99 bead, and there's another one, and I can't remember. But and he brought me this, it's a mala from when he was in Egypt. So go and check his channel out and the Egypt trip, because he's got all that on his channel as well. It's really cool. And he presented me with this, just amazing. When I opened it up, I was, when you get those things at the right times. You just get those things at the right times. He turned up at the right time. He gave me that beautiful gift at the right time. This thing is authentic. I mean, this ain't no bullshit. It's a really nice gift. And it just came at the right time, and I just started tuning in. This has been cropping up a little bit, and something's been telling me to go out to the temple that's been cropping up, the Buddhist temple, because I've seen them at art fests and things like that, and they've been showing up a little bit. And the last time I did it, I can't even remember if I posted this, but it was I went up to them. And they're like, oh, come see, course, right? Come see us, and that. And they stamped my wrist with their symbol, and they all had them as well. And I got a picture with all their kind of fists and wrists in together. It was pretty damn cool. And something just keeps on beckoning me that way to go out to that place and just get more involved in it. And then the other thing is, start tuning back into those things that you may have even let go, or I know we're all human again, right? I mean, I've been doing this. This is what I mean about, what do you need? And sometimes that can be an emotional support. You might want some love from somebody. There's nothing wrong going up with, to our partners. I have to my wife lately, and I gave her a hug and I gave her a kiss, and I'm like, hey, all good, right? And sometimes we want that. Sometimes it's like, yeah, can I, and don't be afraid to ask for that. There's a percentage thing that's a good thing to go by, where 100% being the best, right? And obviously freaking 0% being the worst, obviously. Yeah. But, if you come into your partner and, you wake up in the morning or whatever and you're not feeling too particularly clever, if you have this idea of, okay, what percentage are you at? And they say, hey, I'm at an 80%, but you're feeling like a bit 40-ish. And you communicate that, it allows them to understand that you're a little bit, and you may be seeing some things sometimes, and and it works vice versa and all that. But it's tuning into not pushing that away, because we push it away so easy. We're like, no, and we like punish ourselves, and we think we're not worthy of it, or, So I started, especially when this storm's coming in as well, and I really don't like them. I hear,
yes, here I come, Cockney Buddha. I'm going to make you miserable, Cockney Buddha.
I hear that. Right. And, as the days come in a little bit, it's like,
here I come. Yes, let me, here I come, I'm coming, the old, here I come, the hurricane, whatever it's called now.
Yeah, whatever it's called now. I can't even remember what the name of it is. But it's that voice, right? You're like, what? So now I'm tuning into the fact that my wife's telling me and allowing it, because it's a really hard one to be able to let go of, right, guys? Wanting the control of something, especially when it comes to something like this. Like, I want everything done now, because we have Halloween celebration decorations all out on the front, and tombstones and things hanging, and I'm like, you know what, we could whip that in right now. And my wife's saying, oh no, let's wait, and I've got it, I wait, but I'm not hearing I've got it. So it's about, what do you need? And the one thing I need is to hear that bit that I'm skipping. I've got it. Right? Because it's like, okay, let go. And accepting that, and being able to let go some of that control without trying to take control. If my wife, she says, if I start saying, all right, we're going to start picking stuff up and bringing it in, let's do that. It helps to be able to hear that, even though it's really hard to let go of that bloody control. But it's, what do you need? What do I need? That's what I need to hear, that bit. Because, yes, I'm not at that frigging even 70% with that, right? My wife is like probably up there. She's letting me know it's the trust in that and going with it. And then working, I'm not saying whatever I got to do, I will do. But it's like, letting go of that. I want it right now, because it causes a lot of suffering and freaking sends your head in the wrong direction. So what do you really need? And it's that, knowing that support is right there. Well, that's what I'm saying, and that's what I'm looking at with this. The other thing, what do I need when it comes to something like this? More meditation. I did a big meditation. I think I meditated and did breath work for about an hour this morning. And then the Mr. Dan Cove came up just now and says, "Hey, Steve, is there a Sunday morning? Come up in me group. Is there a Sunday morning tomorrow?" And I'm like, "Oh shit, I didn't put it out yet." And my first reaction was, "Well, bloody hell, the storm." But I thought, no, that ain't coming until, relax, breathe, Buddha. Right? Breathe. Because when you breathe and you take control, then you let go of that voice, right? Trying to pull you in the wrong direction. Tune into, what do I need right now? So I know I'm probably going to need to step up my meditating a little bit and step up my breath work a bit. I'm already, I've already had me cold tub in my mind for a while. It's been sitting in the bloody box. I still haven't built it. So it's something that I'm looking at, probably getting that going and building that and starting doing ice plunges. Getting to maybe, like I said, a temple and getting a little deeper into that. I got introduced to a shaman, which I really have, and I've been given the contact info. My anxiety's going, oh yeah, but does he really want to, does he really want to know you and all, that freaking doubt shit comes in, right? So I'm going to step up and let me I'm actually going to write that down right now, what I tell you guys about writing shit down, right? So I'm going to put that down. Contact shaman. I'm going to contact the fella. He's in South America right now, and I hope they're nice and safe. I hope they're doing okay. I'm not sure where anything's bloody going or what's brewing all around that area. I've just got no bloody idea. It's just like bloody Gulf seems to have erupted. But that's the other thing. Is like contact that fella. It's tuning into what you'll know what you need by listening, realizing some of those things that you've let go of. Because I'm so passionate about meditation. You got to meditate. You got to, right? And I work with my guys with meditating. And by the way, to all my guys that listen to this, I've already put the text out for next week saying about, we'll play it by ear. We'll play it by ear a little bit because of the storm, and it's looking like it might move to the following week or the following time period, whatever that is. And yeah, it's just one of those things. It's Mother Nature, and if it comes in like they are saying, then we might be without a bit of power. But let's just all breathe, and like I say, one of those things that what do you need? How do you steer yourself away from the fear, right? Instead of hearing ha ha ha, why don't you hear ha 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 back, right? Do it back. It's steering away from that, the fear part of it. The voice. What do you really need? Understanding what you've maybe let yourself down with. Maybe getting back into your faith or a regular something, a spiritual following, or get involved in a group, call somebody. There's a whole lot of many things that we can really do with it, and also the emotional support with things as well. If you're going through grief of losing something, or people have lost themselves too, and they might be very confused, and right, if you can put it somewhere, if you can leave it to something, the universe or God or whatever. Right, it can really help. It can help the mind, and it's about steering it. There's been many times when I've stood by my tree that I absolutely adore. I It's a beautiful cypress tree. I'll probably post some pictures. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. I might even do one as a thumbnail for this at some point. But it's a cypress tree. It's in my neighbourhood. I absolutely love this tree. I might do even a separate quick podcast about it because I really do like this tree. And I stand underneath it and I kind of fell in love with it, and I've realised how much I am in love with this tree. And, you know, I've stood underneath this thing. You feel protected because all the branches come over. It puts me in one of the weeping willow that I used to stand underneath when I used to run around as a kid in Greenwich Park in London. And you feel kind of protected by it. And I love trees, the energy you can recharge yourself. I've been up there and I've done some qigong, which was another thing that I did in the yard after I'd got my feet in the yard, and I, did that meditation. That I came up out of that, and all of a sudden I'm like, do some qigong energy, and I don't even really. I know some bits and pieces of qigong, and I've done a lesson with a teacher, and only basic stuff, but it's a matter of just going with what's your energy moving you to, and that's what I did. And I went down in a horse stance, and I was just moving my arms and moving energy, and I could feel it. And to start getting on those things, what do I need? So anyway, I hope everybody in the Central Florida area is going to be okay. Don't take these things for granted, yeah? Make sure you got supplies and stuff like that. And I hope everybody's having a great weekend. Remember, what do you need? Steer it away from the fear, yeah? Do the opposite to what the fear is telling you. Those things are what's saying, no, you don't need to be doing that. But you really do know that, yep, this is what I want to be doing. Because you really know that's what's going to help. So don't let yourselves down and disrespect yourselves. Come and see me on Sunday, 11 a.m. I do the live on my YouTube channel. Go and hit that subscribe. If you've listened this far, I'm obviously making sense somewhere along the line, so please pass me around. Go and hit the subscribe button. Give me a comment. Yeah, come and check me out and give me a comment. I love hearing the comments, especially when it makes a difference. And yeah, I'll probably get some videos out there on YouTube when this storm starts coming in. I'm going to be stuck anyway. But everybody have a great weekend. I love each and every one of you. And thank you for being so loyal. Stay that course. Namaste.